In my home, like many others, we love having lots of photos on the wall. So they can be artwork, it can be family photos, it can be antique photos, that sort of thing. And you can see I have some old photos here. I have a digital picture frame. I have another digital picture frame and some other just sort of traditional pieces of art on the wall. One problem is that these digital picture frames have power cords, and that is an issue. It doesn't really look like a photograph or a piece of art, but I'm going to show you a product that is relatively new that uses a new technology that eliminates those power cords and displays like a piece of art or a professional photograph, and you wouldn't even know it if it were hanging alongside all this other stuff. So stay tuned. Hi there, it's HighTechDad. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I review all types of technology for the home, for work, and for on the go. I also have a website that I've been writing articles, how-tos, reviews, fix-its, that type of thing for over 2 decades now, and that's at HighTechDad.com. And today we are going to be taking a look at this digital picture frame by Aluratek. And so this is the box. This is sort of the frame itself. And in this video, I am going to be going through what's on the box, what's in the box, go through some setups, and then sort of get up close and personal with this digital picture frame. So the technology behind this that makes it so different and so unique from some of the other digital picture frames that I have displayed behind me is that it uses ePaper. It is a relatively newer technology. Sometimes you can find like the ePaper or e-ink on some ebook readers and things like that. But these guys have managed to put it together so that it works as a digital picture frame. And some of the really unique characteristics about this is that it doesn't have a power cord. You charge up the frame. A charge lasts about a year, and you can just hang it on the wall, which I'm going to do and show you guys how that all works. The other really cool thing is it doesn't use any kind of backlighting. So unlike some of these other picture frames where at night it's kind of bright and kind of stands out, this will look just like a regular old-fashioned piece of art or photograph hanging on your wall. So full disclosure, Aluratek did send me out this frame for me to test out and do the review, so thank you to them. But let's get into the what's on the box and what's in the box, and then the setup, and see how it actually works. It's time to see what's on the box. I barely got the frame in the frame here. It's pretty big. So this is the Aluratek ePaper, and it's a 13.3 inch Wi-Fi digital photo frame. So it's here in English and in French. So I'm assuming there may be a Canadian connection here. But there are some key features that are outlined on the box. No AC power required. That is a huge thing for this type of device, and I'll go into that a little bit later. Already said 3.3 inch Wi-Fi digital photo frame. It does have a smartphone app that you can send the pictures to the frame. Supposedly it looks just like printed paper, and we're going to be checking that out. You can download the app here on the Apple App Store or on Google Play. Let's see what else is on here. Just a little bit more. So let's see if I can pivot it up here so you can see. Includes interchangeable white and black mats, so that's very nice that you can frame it differently. So you get the whole thing, supposedly. You get the digital part and then the black and the white mat and the frame that comes with it. It gives the dimensions here, so the length is 14.625 inches, and that's the full thing here. And then the height is 18.5 inches. and then diagonally the actual picture is 13.3 inches. So it says here, next generation digital picture frame using ePaper technology. So I'll be going into that a little bit later. It says it looks just like printed paper, display photos, artworks, illustrations, and digital signage. Color ePaper display, so it is in color, it's not just black and white. It's got the proprietary app, and then of course low power usage, no cables, and that's the big thing here. So let's take a look at what's inside the box. Okay, so it's time to see what's inside the box, and let's see if I can do this in the camera frame or not. It's a pretty big box, as I said, and I don't want to destroy it in the process. So it's nicely packed. It has a very quality feel to it. All right, so I got that off. And let's see here what's inside the other box. So it's packaged nicely. It looks like this is one of the mats. So you can see that's the black mat. And it's even cut like a professional mat. So it's beveled here. I'm gonna leave it in here so I don't get a bunch of fingerprints on it. So that's one thing. And then we have, it looks like it comes with the white mat in it already. So that is the frame itself. Again, trying to get it into the camera is kind of hard. But here is the frame itself. How exciting. So it has some setup instructions here that I'll be going through. I'll scan the QR code to get the app and then connect it. But then this is the frame itself. It's slightly reflective, not too bad. It looks like it's actually kind of matted, which is kind of nice, so you won't get glare. And then on the side here, kind of hard to see with this lighting, but there's a power button and some other buttons and a USB-C port right there for charging. Nothing else on the other parts. And then in the back, it already has the hanging items here, so you can hang it on the wall fairly easily. So you can do it either portrait or landscape. There's some information there, and it looks like there's some other connectors here, maybe for other types of mounting, and I'll read up on that. So that is the frame itself. And then there is installation position diagram. So kind of nice here, you can put it right up against the wall, and you put your screw through and put it right on the wall, so you don't have to measure or do anything. You just have to make sure that this is level. So that's great. There is manual for all the different displays. So here it talks about the LEDs, the USB-C charging port, next and previous and reset buttons, power button, more information on setting up and connecting. So it is very well documented. Color pictures in here. Looks pretty easy to do. Lots of different steps that you can go through. Yeah, so I will test it out. And it looks like there are some other mounting kits like I was talking about. So you can use wires to attach to the brackets that are on the back. And then it looks like there is I'm guessing this is the USB-C cable for charging, or maybe this is actually mounting items. So it looks like, yeah, this is for mounting on the wall. Various things. Oh, it looks, it even comes with wire. So that's the wire on the back to screw it in, so you can automatically have sizes for that. And then, yeah, it looks like there is also a USB Type-C, and it comes with a little screwdriver as well. So that is nice that you have all the tools that you need. So I'll put that down there. screwdriver, USB Type-C, and then these, like I was saying, attach onto the little knobs here. So you can see there's one for portrait and one for landscape. And I may actually do that so I can use a hook in the wall that way, and then you can balance it and level it as opposed to using the built-in brackets. So that's a really nice little add-on there. And then it looks like there's one more thing that's in here. Not sure what this is. Oh, it looks like, oh, that's really cool. So it looks like this is potentially a mount. So you could have it sitting, and I'll have to read about that. I'm not sure. Looks a little bit bigger. I'll have to check to see what this is exactly. I could put a trophy on this. It looks really cool. Anyway, so I'm going to start testing this out and see how it all works. So I've already been charging this for a while. Supposedly you can charge it and the charge will hold for like a year. So I just used a USB that I had. It's been charging for a while. This is the default image that shows up when I plugged it in. So you can see all the colors and everything. And what I'm going to do now is I've downloaded and set up an account for the Aluratek configuration and image management app. So I'm going to go through the setup and get this thing connected. So the first step, according to the instructions, is to press the power button, which is located on the side here. And so once you do that, it should start flashing with a, well, the green shows that it's powered on, and then the red, I believe, is what you use to set it into pairing mode. So I'm going to go from there and connect it to the app. So let's pair the picture frame. I'm also recording it on the screen here so you can see it a little bit more closely to the side. So you simply press the plus button, then you have to enter in your Wi-Fi password. Going to do that quickly off screen here. And then you simply click on the connect, and somehow it magically is able to connect via Wi-Fi to the frame itself. You'll see a message pop up here, and then the frame will reinitialize, and you'll see sort of a flashing of the colors as it reinitializes. So there's the message, should be reinitializing, and there is the frame there. So it shows the battery amount and the Wi-Fi signal. And if you click on the ellipses here, you can also go into settings and see more about it. And then also you can delete the frame, which I've had to do a couple of times trying to record this, but it looks like everything seems to be working. The frame is initialized, and you can see I don't have anything in my gallery right now, so it's just the default image that's showing here. But I have some photos from Maui that I'm gonna try to upload in here and see how they display on the frame. So I have a couple of photos that I recently saved, so I'm going to try to add in one at a time. Here it allows me to crop it, and then I can kind of go from there. All right, so it looks like the first photo is on there. So I've already added 2 photos into the frame. You can see one is here. It's a little bit darker, but it still has a really amazing quality. So I'm going to add another photo into here. So I'm going over to my recents, and I can click on this, and I'm going to add one that's a little bit brighter here. And so you can crop it the way that you want to. And then I'm just going to say save, and then send to phone. So it's kind of like the old-fashioned printing process, or when you're printing in a darkroom. So like when you want something to go over to the frame, it actually has to go through kind of a process of rendering on the screen. So you can see it here when I click this button and I want to synchronize it over. Oh, I don't want to delete it. I couldn't see what it says. So I'm going to actually say, do you want to display the selected image? So I'm clicking submit, and it's going to synchronize over, and you'll see that it sort of starts to go through this development of the new image. It does take it a little bit to transfer over, but it should be doing it now. You can see it's starting to render. It's developing just like in the old-fashioned darkroom. So you start to see the colors forming and things like that. And then fairly soon, the image is rendered, and you can almost get a good side-by-side. So here it is. It is a little bit darker, but that is kind of to be expected. So pretty amazing, actually. All right, so you previously saw how I uploaded an image. I have one displayed here. This is the Aluratek frame, and it has one of the images. And so one thing you can see here is that there are no cables, no power going into it. It is completely self-contained, and it's running off a battery. And you can see that it is fairly vibrant colors. I'm going to try and avoid the glare. I've got a skylight right above, but hopefully you can see the colors, the richness of the display itself. So obviously this is a pretty neat solution for those people who don't want to have power cords hanging out or a backlight sort of blinding you at night. So let's take a look at some of the other options that you can do and some of the other features, and I'm going to hang it on the wall and see what it looks like. So a nice thing that's included with the installation kit that I mentioned in the unboxing is that there are some mounts on the back here, and these just simply unscrew with your thumb, and it comes with this little wire so that you can do it either portrait, or if you want to have it in landscape mode, you can, there's another cable that you can attach across in the same way, just by unscrewing and screwing it back in. So I am going to mount this on the wall. I freed up some space, and we'll test out some more things. So I have it mounted on the wall. Looks great, right? And so you can also flip through different images that you may have stored by pushing one of the buttons on the side. I believe if it is in off mode, it's not gonna transform. So I'm actually gonna press the power button to turn it on. And then once the lights show up here, I should be able to advance the image to the next one. So now I have the lights on, and then I can, it looks like it's already starting to develop another photo that I had stored in there. So you can see it flickers for a little bit as everything is being rendered and converted over. And so here you can see it's slowly coming, slowly developing, and there is the image. So it just takes a few seconds for the image to appear. If I press it again, it'll go through hopefully to the next one as well. Yes, so it's starting to go through the rendering phase and everything like that. And so this is a slightly darker image. The sun is already set, so it's not going to pop out as much as the other one. And then I think I have one more stored on here. So I'm going to try to render that one as well. And that one has a little bit more brightness, has some chairs on there, more of the Maui beach with just our footprints in the sand, and there it is. Another thing I wanted to talk about. So during the unboxing, there was this little plexiglass stand that I thought that you could use to maybe prop the frame on a table or something like that. But I learned that this is actually pretty innovative. So what you can do, and this is really great for like restaurants or cafes or coffee houses or just places of business, is you can fully remove the digital frame in here from this physical frame. You can take it out, and then you can actually place it onto, you actually have the the notch facing forward. You can place it in here and have it display like the current menu of the day or the coffee specials or whatever the specials are. So say you have a graphic designer in your shop and they create a beautiful looking menu. You could have that displayed using just the digital picture frame here and have it sitting by the cash register or the point of sale machine. So really kind of nice. And then you don't have to charge it for a year, and you can upload the new menu or the new specials or a new message of the day just from your phone every day. And it's just sort of sitting on the table like that. So I thought that is a really kind of cool use case, but it does involve taking apart the frame. There's some screws on the back. There is a screwdriver provided in the packaging. So you just remove that and then you can have this frame just sort of sitting in this holder. Very cool. So just to go through a few more settings that are on the app. So you can change the orientation of the frame. Right now I have it in vertical. You can change it to horizontal. Just make sure that you upload landscape photos or images and use those images when you want to change orientation. And then there is also something around the timing type. And what that means is that the frame's going to stay offline most of the time to preserve its battery, because staying always connected to the Wi-Fi will drain the battery. So you can schedule two types of timings where it will actually go out to the server and check to see if you have new images that are supposed to be uploaded to the frame, or any that you want to take down, or maybe you crop some or something like that. So there is a time interval setting where you can configure the wake up interval to be 30 minutes, an hour, 6 hours, 12 hours, 1 day, 2, 3 days, or a week. And so when it hits that interval, it'll connect to Wi-Fi, download anything from the server, and then disconnect. Or you can do it with the schedule. So it's asking me to confirm, then I'm going to change to the wake up schedule, and then you have a whole process where you can add a schedule. So it could go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, any day of your choice, all the days at a certain time of day. And then it'll just wake up, it'll grab the images, and it'll resync with the frame. So that's a nice little option. So it's not always connected to Wi-Fi, but it will wake up and go and get things when you tell it to. You can also manually force it to connect, I believe. So you do have to power it on using the power button. You'll see the green light and the red light showing that it's connected. And then you can push your images over at that point using the process that I showed before, where you have an image and you can say, yes, I want to display the selected image, and then you can submit it. I'm displaying the same image that's on here. So anyway, that's another option that you can do. The last setting I want to talk about is related to the schedule as well. So once you configure your schedule, either a schedule or a timed interval, you can enable or disable photo switching mode. So right now I have it manual. Photo switching mode is turned off. When I turn it on, it will refresh the photo with a new image from whatever I've uploaded based on the schedule that I have selected. So waking up every hour. So every hour, it will change the photo based on whatever is stored in the library. So that's a nice way to have new images displayed within the frame without you even having to push anything over. So you can upload a bunch, and then every hour or whatever that interval is, it will change the photo automatically. So what do you think? I'd love to get some comments and thoughts about this new type of digital picture frame. Please leave a comment below. So currently the price for this is a little bit more expensive than some of the traditional digital picture frames because of the new technology. I believe that it retails for about $350. There are probably going to be sales and discounts. You may want to check on Amazon as well if it's available and if it is at a discounted rate. But the benefits that I see of this type of a frame versus some of those others, just the regular digital picture frames, are pretty big, and I've already sort of hammered those through. It's the no power cord, it's the fact that it can hang on the wall for a year without needing to be charged, that it doesn't have a blinding backlight that you have to turn off the frame at night so you're not lighting up the whole room. It just basically looks like a photograph or a piece of art on the wall. So would love to know what you guys think. I'm really fascinated by the technology. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I realized it was a little bit longer, but this is a kind of cool gadget that I got my hands on. So anyway, I would really appreciate a like, a thumbs up, a subscribe. Smash that like button, as they say. And you can do that here on this video on my YouTube channel. Also, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on social media. Just search for HighTechDad. Also, I have a Facebook page, and that's at facebook.com/HTDblog. And as always, you can go over to my website where I do have a lot of product reviews. A lot of them have the videos from my YouTube channel on them as well, but it goes back 2 decades or more with all types of stuff. And that's at HighTechDad.com. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to have you guys watching my next product review coming soon.